In the book, you say at one point that one of your campaign advisors pointed out to you that on the basis of the polling, it seemed like there were two dominant issues: economics, the slow recovery, and political gridlock. And I wondered, you know, you've got a lot in here where you very carefully and analytically analyze what may have gone wrong. Was the big mistake, in a sense, if there was a mistake, that it wasn't just those two issues? What Trump showed was that there was a series of cultural issues around immigration, race, and that these were very passionately felt by a whole group of people, working class whites, and that, in a sense, you guys missed that.
You know, Fareed, I talk about that in the book because there's no doubt in my mind that there was economic anxiety, which we were prepared to address, and I believe we did, even though it was hard to break through on the media, because we were running a presidential campaign that we thought was aimed at telling people what I would do as president. He was running a reality TV campaign and stoking a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. So we had the economic anxiety. And in fact, exit polls show, as I relate in the book, that for people who said the economy was their #1 issue, they actually voted for me. But what he did from the very first day of his campaign was to tap into all this cultural anxiety.
But what should Democrats do to try to deal with the reality that there is this cultural anxiety? Is there any way to connect with it without succumbing to prejudice?
Well, I have said, and I really believe this, that I'm not going to give up on the progress of the last 50 to 60 years in our country. We are a fairer, better nation because we had the Civil Rights Act, because women's rights were recognized, and we both knocked down discrimination and created more doors of opportunity, that we are treating gay people with respect and giving them their equal rights as citizens. That, you know, when you look at freedom of religion, something that was so critical to our Constitution, why are we scapegoating Muslims? You know, people who are here in our country making contributions. So my view on this is it's a terrible mistake for Democrats or anybody to walk away from these core values and rights. We have to stand up for them, and we have to do a better job, #1, of explaining to people, you are being snookered. You know what? The real threat to your future is a government that doesn't care about you and is taking actions that will make your life even harder and is favoring the wealthy beyond anything we've ever seen before.
But doesn't it distress you then that you make that argument, that very cogent argument, and he plays with the NFL controversy?
Yeah.
Which is purely symbolic.
Right.
And it's clearly an attempt to, again...
Right. But look at his numbers are shrinking. The people who are still favorably disposed to him are really the hardcore of his base. It may be enough to win a Republican primary. It may be enough to scare Republican members of Congress who worry about getting a Bannon-inspired opponent from even the further right. So, yeah, it has political consequences within the Republican Party, but we have to do a better job of making it really clear that a lot of what he's doing is to distract from the very real impacts of actions he and his government are taking. They are turning back regulations on equal pay, on overtime pay. That's money out of workers' pockets. They are going after health regulations by opening the door to chemicals and pesticides that the scientific community say, what are you doing? These will affect children's health and other people's well-being. So we can go down this line, and we have to do a better job of making it clear what the stakes really are. I can understand why people either didn't take him seriously or said he's not going to really do that when he's president. I said in my concession speech, give him a chance, you know, let him be the president for everybody. But I opened the book with my reaction to his inaugural speech, which was dark and divisive, continuing the worst